of our TNT doubleheader. It's Atlanta tying up the series with Miami 104-86. The story in that Hawks Heat game, of course, the bench-clearing brawl in the third quarter that resulted in the ejections of Miami's Grant Long and Keith Askins and Atlanta's Doug Edwards. It came with 2:34 left in the third. Let's pick up the call of Bob Neal and Doug Collins.
Elo misses, Farrell rebounds, and the foul. Farrell will go to the line. Look at this. I'm telling you, it's going to get ugly, guys. Elo is on the floor, and Manning is off the bench. We have it going on right in front of our bench. There is a melee in the middle of the floor. The most significant thing thus far is Danny Manning came off the bench. Look at Kevin Lockley. Boyle. Oh, man, somebody come in from behind and pop somebody. This is ugly, guys. Doug Edwards, the Atlanta Hawks rookie, came off the bench. Alvin Gentry has Grant Long right in front of our table here, trying to hold him back, and it is still not over here in Atlanta.
Well, thankfully, now it is over in Atlanta as far as that melee goes. And you heard Bob Neal talk about Danny Manning coming off the bench. A lot of guys off the bench. The league has the tapes. They will review them, and you know that it'll be fines and suspensions surely to follow after the incident in Atlanta tonight. We want to get your take on that whole thing, Isaiah. We'll do that when we come back on the Reebok Halftime Report. Let's resume our discussion of this Atlanta-Miami brawl, Isaiah. Where do you lay the blame? Is it because of the playoff pressures and the intensity? Is it because officials set a tone and let things go too far? Or is it somebody who's not disciplined? How do you sort it out?
Well, I think it's a combination of all those things. You know, the emotions of the playoffs, you know, you wear them on your sleeve. Your pride is at stake. You know, the whole city, everybody's looking at you. So you want to play well and you want to perform well, and emotionally you want to be up for the challenge. I think the officials have a job. They want to make sure that these guys are allowed to play, that the fans come, you know, they see what they want to see in NBA basketball. But clearly you don't want it to go this far. And I think tonight it got a little bit out of hand.
Let's see how exactly it started with Craig Elo launching a shot from the corner. And you'll see a hard foul in here, Isaiah, and some taunting.
Well, I think the problem starts after the foul is made. You know, Farrell makes a basket here. Grant Long comes over, makes a hard foul, no harder than what has been placed on John Sally. And then you see the finger pointing. And that's where the problem starts, when Farrell puts his finger in his face, and then Elo comes in from behind, and he grabs Grant Long, and Long doesn't know who has him, and he takes him down. Now, that's where the problem starts, because the rest of the Miami bench sees Elo and Grant Long on the floor in a fight. In everybody else's mind, they think that, you know, Elo and Grant Long has got into it, so Steve Smith runs over, and then it goes crazy.
Yeah, they're all off the bench, and it all hits the fan. Let's spend a couple of minutes now and hear from some of the principals, starting with Dwayne Farrell.
Well, it was a shot taken, and I was able to get good position and got the rebound. And when I scored, I was just so hyper and pumped up. And the foul was kind of aggressive, I thought, and I just wanted to let them know that we're here to play and we're going to try to win this game. And things just got heated up after that.
It was pretty dangerous. You know, I don't think it got a little out of hand. I think our emotions were running very high. We started pushing, started shoving, and one thing led to another, and all the players were out on the court.
It erupted down the other end, and they had guys coming off the bench, and hey, our players have got to protect one another. They can't sit there at that time when you're sitting there and you're seeing all these guys running out there. There isn't enough people to stop it. These are big men. And so the thing was, is you try and break it up. And I thought that most of the guys were trying to break it up.
When they review the film, they'll see what started early. I think Kevin Willis wanted to establish the fact that he was going to be physical with us tonight, and he was the main culprit in all the cheap shots, you know, from the beginning of the game. And that's okay. They'll see that, you know, when it's on the film. But if the referee's going to let them get away with it, then it's not a cheap shot. So we just have to do the same thing.
We should point out that our crew was at the Omni, tried to talk to Grant Long about the situation. He declined any interviews. It appears the only serious injury that came out of it occurred to Miami assistant Alvin Gentry. And let's take a look at what happened as Grant Long, you see right here, is being restrained by Gentry. We really don't know if Grant knew who had a hold of him. You'll see what happens as Gentry
He probably thinks it's Elo again.
Maybe, but Gentry is flipped, and apparently he has a broken arm out of this. And the next two guys you want to see, Doug Edwards And Miami's Keith Askins, this one speaks for itself. The sucker punch to the back of the head, and Edwards squares up now with Askins and cocks that right arm and unloads. It would have been referee stops contest. You know, as we said, there were going to be fines and suspensions handed out. And more than likely, we look for that kind of action to take place on Monday out of the league office. The next game in that series is Tuesday night in Miami. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.